Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am making a video where I talk about my favorite authors. I have been on YouTube for years and I still haven't made a video about my favorite authors and favorite series and stuff like that, and I was like, it's about time. When I made my list of my favorite authors, I was like, how much do I like the books and the author before I add them to my list. I read so many books that I enjoyed so much, faves or books I really enjoyed, but do I then consider the author my favorite? I don't know. I just made my list and thought about the authors I think about the most and that I know I always pick up the books for, etc. But there's surely more authors that I really enjoyed that just I feel like they didn't fit the list. Or maybe I will make a second part of this video later with more authors that I love. But yeah, this is just the top list, I would say. And you know, lists change over time, so this is just a list for October 2019. In 2029, 10 years from now, I'm pretty sure my list is not the same. So this is actually in no particular order, this was just how I made my list. So yeah, none of these are really above any of the others except maybe one of them, but I will get to that one person and then explain. So first of all, we have Leigh Bardugo. That actually shouldn't be a surprise because Leigh Bardugo writes so well. I have read all her books except Ninth House as I'm filming. How do I even talk about these people? Do I talk about my favorite book from them, or do I talk about how I read them? I don't even know. I just realized that this was planned very well. I actually, when I think about it, I haven't given all the books I read by her, one of them even, a 5-star, and I feel like that says a lot about what star ratings even means, because you can love an author and their books, but that doesn't mean you give that author every book you read 5 stars, but that is a discussion for another day. I think construction wise, Shadow and Bone, the series is very classical YA, and you don't find that much originality in plot necessarily, but that's when the world started. And in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom it really flourished. Language of Thorns is just a very well written short story collection where just the writing was top notch, and King of Scars just expands on everything she has created before that. So I just really like the Wishowers. I love what she did in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and from the books I read from her till now, I would say the Crooked Kingdom is my favorite, really, because it had such clever plotting that I just loved. I love a clever plot, and I think I would take plot over characters any day. I feel like I read a lot of books where characters are average and the plot is average and I'm like, meh. But with the plot is very good, but not necessarily the characters are the best. I just want the plot to blow my mind, as you know, and I just feel like plotting is just such an important thing. I like it to be unexpected, and I don't like it when you expect things. And Crooked Kingdom very much was unexpected. I was trying to figure out what was going on and my brain was working so hard, but there was just such great moments there. And I just love Leigh Bardugo also as a person, but necessarily you don't need to like the author to, you know, like their books, but maybe then it would be weird to have them as a favorite author. I don't even know. There was just a lot of things going on in this video to talk about. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing, and I love her characters and how she has developed her writing, as we can see, and I can't wait to see Ninth House, which is totally something different, soon. My next favorite author is Brandon Sanderson, and it's probably the author I would answer if anyone asked me who my favorite is. I haven't read every single Brandon Sanderson book. There's a million, and I'm sort of savoring them for when I feel like I want a Brandon Sanderson read. But Brandon Sanderson creates the most original worlds and plots. Not necessarily plots, because things in plots always go again, but he creates the most original worlds I have ever read. His magic system and worlds are so intricate and real and just so well written. It blows my mind, literally. So as I said, plot and world really matters a lot to me. The way that Brandon Sanderson creates his world is just so original, and I have never read anything like his works in fantasy ever. Reading this one was a totally new experience for me. I feel the terms of the fantasy genre, and I just feel like I was blown away with what he created there. And since then, the other books I read by him have just been so original, and it's gems. Okay, all of them are gems. My favorite books by him are the Mistborn series, which is like one of my favorite series of all time, and I love them. So, you know, I don't know what more to say. I realize that if I'm going to talk about every single book of every single author here, it's gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna mention the favorite or something and then move on and why I like them, because yeah, I could talk about the different books I read by him, but again, I just realized that's too much effort. The next one on my list is V.E. Schwab, and I just love her. Okay, I love her in real life. I just admire her so much, and I love her books. Now again, I haven't read every single book by her. She has a lot. Vicious was my first one by her, and then I heard a lot about The Darker Shade of Magic, so I also read that whole series. But Vicious is still my favorite. I just love how dark and twisty it is, and just that it's about villains and not heroes, and I just love it. I love A Darker Shade of Magic as well, and I just feel like everything she published I am ready for. I like have a billion editions of her books because I just feel like collecting them all. Like, she is probably one of the authors I own the most books of, just because like I have 4 editions of A Darker Shade of Magic. It's just to say a lot how much I just love her and I want to support her, and I love how she writes. I think she's a very, very, very good writer. I feel like of every single person here, I could say some criticism and some positive things, but I realized I just want to keep this on the positive side. So we then have Rainbow Rowell, who I love, and I read every single book by her, ? I read her books like when I was still in high school, which does not feel that long ago, but it's some years ago now because I'm old. It's fine. I love her books. I love Carry On, which is my favorite. It's like one of my favorite books of all time, and I love it so much. I love Fangirl as well, but Carry On is definitely my favorite. And in terms here, it's mostly because of the characters, which contradicts what I just said because, you know, plot, but like the characters in Carry On. I love the different characters she writes, even though some of the books are a bit like totally okay, but some I just really, really enjoy. You don't need to love every single book by an author to love that author though. Like, they could write one book that you love so much and you don't need to love the rest, which is an example of the next author I'm going to talk about, which is Ruben Eliassen. He's a Norwegian fantasy author, and he was the guy who made me go into fantasy. He wrote this series called Phenomena, which is my favorite book of all time, which I feel like I said that a lot, but like, he's like, that's my heart book. I know like reading it now, it's not the greatest piece in the world, but for me it means everything, and that's what's important. It's like my Harry Potter. I read the series like 20 times and I enjoy it. I love it with all my heart. It's like a book that changed my reading, a book that it's everything to me. It's a whole series though, so it's not one book. But like, as I said, you don't need to love every single book by author to love the author, because he wrote some crime books that I read because I love him, but like, I'm not really that interested in crime, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But Ruben is just hilarious as well, and I follow like his social media, and he just seems like the greatest guy. I once even talked to him on the phone, which is a totally different story. I cried. That's all I gotta say. Now, Sarah J. Maas, which I know, okay? I know some people don't like her books, but I don't know how to describe what her books is to me, because I know you could consider them trashy, but who decides which books are trashy or not? I could read whatever I want and enjoy it, and if someone else doesn't like it, that's fine. Sarah J. Maas books are just like drugs. It's not like I've ever taken drugs, but like, it feels just so addicting, and it just, even though like she reuses her storylines, it's just so addicting. I love the worlds she makes. I even love like the plot, like, because even though of course I know storylines are used over again in all the books in the whole world, like nothing is original anymore, I just feel myself grasping and being surprised even so what's happening, and I love her characters and I love her world. I'm just like ready for anything she writes. I like watch like hours of interviews with her because I think she's so sweet. She has like the cutest laughter. I just love hearing her talk about stories and how much she loves them. I love her. She seems like the sweetest. I wish that I was famous and lived in the States so I could actually meet her, but you know. I didn't even say what my favorite book of Sarah J. Maas is. It's obviously A Court of Mist and Fury, because that book, man, the mountain shook, okay, then you know it's a good book. So moving on, we have Sabata here. She wrote An Amber and Ashes. And Amber and Ashes broke me in pieces, and she wrote A Torch Against the Night, which broke all those pieces into more pieces. And I still haven't read A Reaper of the Gates because I'm scared. I don't know why I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I want to reread the other two as well, to just have all those pieces that are broken into like a billion pieces. I love Tabitha here. She also seems like the sweetest, and her books are amazing. I know what I expected out of An Amber and Ashes, but it was not what I got. It was so good. And the second book, which I thought was like, okay, this is like in the middle of like a quartet, it can't be that good. Like usually like the middle books are like middle bridge books, but it was just that's what I'm talking about. The plot, but also the characters were just so good. I can't help to call her one of my faves, even though like she's only written one series, it's not even done yet, and I haven't even read all of the ones that are published. I feel like I would just read anything she writes ever. I feel like she can't disappoint me. I have so much belief in her. You know, like even if I hate the final in the Amber and Ashes, because like finals can be hard, I feel like I would still read anything by her forever. Moving on, we have Robin Hobb, obviously. I mean, I only read one book series by her, and she has like a lot of them. I read the first one in the Realm of the Elder Rings saga series, whatever, and I read the Frostseer trilogy, and it was like one of the best fantasy books I ever read. Her writing, the best writing I have ever read. Ever. She crafts the story so well. I can't wait to read more by her. I know that I'm gonna love it. I don't even need like, I just know it, okay? The first book was like, okay. The second book just, and the third book just, that was my sounds, and that describes everything. I love her writing, and I know I only read one series, Judge Me Only Once, but yeah, she's just one of my favorite authors because she writes so well. The next author we have here is Hajime Isayama, which is the author for Attack on Titan. I know that seemed a bit random, you know, like we were into like all the YA and adult fantasy people, and then like suddenly out of nowhere it showed up on manga, but like Attack on Titan. Okay, I haven't even read all the manga, but I had seen the anime, and I know like they're true to the story. It starts off with this concept. I love it, but like I'm unsure about the storytelling and how it was told. Like I'm unsure of how much of this like goes together. It just blows my mind. It's like so well plotted out. It just feels like my mind just blew apart, okay? As I said, plotting means a lot to me. Also, like, you know, one of my all-time favorite characters of all time, I've said all time many times there, is Levi, and he's there, so you know, I have to give him credit for that. The plotting, I can't even imagine it, okay? It was just so good. He just wrote one of my favorite stories of all time, so that's why he's here. I will read anything by him when he eventually finished Attack on Titan. I'm ready for more, for whatever he has to bring. The next author I have is C.S. Pacat, and she wrote Happy Prince, which I love. She also wrote Fans, which I love. And anything else she writes, I'm ready for, okay? She writes queer stories, which I'm always for. I found Captain Prince, and I know it has like themes that some people don't like at all, and that's fine if you don't like it, but it's just one of my faves. This is an author that I love. I don't have words. C.S. Pacat, I will read anything what she writes. I know that a YA book is coming, and I'm ready for anything and everything she writes in the future. So yeah, bring it on. We then have Cassandra Clare. And I was a bit hesitant putting her on this list because I felt like she wasn't my favorite author, but then I realized that every single time she released something, I also buy it and I read it at once. I also buy a lot of authors, but I don't read it at once. I just realized how obsessed I am with her books. I'm like, how can I not consider her one of my favorite authors? But it's really just because I feel like I don't like the Mortal Instruments that much. I was like, how can I consider her my favorite if I didn't like the Mortal Instruments that much, get it? And then I realized how much I love like the Infernal Devices, the Dark Artifices, all the other Tales of Shannara Academy, all of those, and how ready I am for Cane of Gold, and like that I will probably binge read it, and I'm like, how can I not consider her one of my favorite authors? I love how she evolved from the Mortal Instruments and into the new stories, and I can just see it, and I'm just, okay, I love her. Also, like, she is the sweetest of what I've seen from her in real. Shadowhunter Chronicles has like grown into this huge thing, and like I feel happy that I'm like caught up, because like going into it from the outside seems very intimidating. Also, she created Malek, so it was actually obvious that she was going to be here. We then have Laini Taylor, who wrote Stitch the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmare. I like, they belong together, they appear. Two of my favorite books of all time. I realized I read them in January this year, and I can't stop thinking about those books. They're just the most beautiful and original and beautiful books I ever read. I still haven't read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, so I'm scared I won't like those and be like meh, but that can't take away how much I love Stitch the Dreamer. So like I feel a bit guilty that I haven't read her first series. I think I will read Daughter of Smoke and Bone soonish, so but I don't know. I just know I love her writing, and I know that she writes in the same beautiful way in those books as I heard, and I just feel like that alone will make me like them a lot. And I love her, and I will buy anything by her for forever now. So, you know, because Stitch the Dreamer was so good, so I can just assume that whatever comes next will be as wonderful and beautiful. The last author I will mention in this video, which I'm sure now has been way too long, is Roshni Chokshi. I love her. I have like the biggest author crush on her, by the way. She is so beautiful, but like if we look away from like her beauty in real life, I have actually only read our Shah books, but I love them. They like are just adventurous and fun, and like if I think about it, I am like kind of even like them more than Percy Jackson, because they're so good and fun and wonderful. I'm gonna read The Star-Touched Queen and The Gilly Wolves, and like I heard mixed things about both of them, so I am scared, but I feel like I will give everything a chance. But I just still love her like as a person. Is that allowed then to still call them my favorite author? Yes, because like I read 2 books by her and I love them a lot, so I'm just ready to discover her more, and I'm taking her on this list because since I enjoyed her books right now so much, I just feel like I would enjoy her other ones, and also everything she publishes in the future. That was all the authors that I love. I realized that out of all the authors I mentioned, there's only 2 males, so clearly I really enjoy my female authors, which is great. I'm always interested in expanding my views and finding more authors of more diversity, etc. I have read a lot, but I could always read more. I think I will make a part 2 of this video when I'm sure of who to add in the future someday, but that was some of my faves, and I feel like this video fell apart at some point, but that's okay. I hope you still enjoyed, and tell me your favorite authors down below if you want to, and I'm gonna end this video now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!